about plants. Let's learn about plants. There's so much to know. Let's learn all their parts as we watch them grow. Let's learn about plants. There's so much to know. Let's learn all their parts as we watch them grow.
Well, hello again, it's Andy, the Derbyshire Rural Rider. I wasn't intending doing a video today, but what I decided is my rhododendron in a tub is not going to revive itself, so I thought I'd pop down to Lea Gardens and buy a new one. So I wasn't intending doing a riding video, but then I thought if I'm going out anyway, I'd rather go on the bike than in the car, so I'm just doing a short clip of the last part of the journey, and I'm going to Lea Gardens round the back laneway rather than the most direct way, which is past Lea Green Activity Centre. So my starting point of filming the ride is outside Top Slack Farm, which if people know my surname, that's quite an appropriate one for me. It's at the junction of Holston Gate Road and the top of Amber Lane, which is commonly known as Slack Hill. So anybody who listened to the music about plants, it's definitely not a plant growing instruction video, because I'm hopeless at growing them. Things that grow in my garden tend to be self-setters. They really thrive. Like I've got almost a tree growing outside that just seeded itself, and another one that was chopped right down and supposedly killed off, which has grown again and become massive. Now, I've only got a tiny back garden, so what I tend to have is a few tubs. I used to have a lawn several years ago, but the ground seemed to be a bit boggy, so about 20 odd years ago I dug it up and put pebbles down with the weed membrane underneath, but in that time the weed membrane seems to have rotted away, and the weeds are starting to grow through again. The lawn was obviously very useful to have when daughter was a young child, and also she had guinea pigs at some stage, so they tended to be put in a different part of the lawn each day in the little wire netting covered pen, and did keep the grass down that much I hardly needed to mow it. So like I say, and I'm fairly hopeless at things surviving. I've got a few things that's been there many years, but the rhododendron doesn't seem to want to grow at all. I've tried 2 or 3 of them, so I'll have another go. Also, I've got a hydrangea in one of the tubs that don't seem to flower, so we're talking to the bloke at the garden shop at Lea Gardens, and he did say I might be looking after it too well, and it's become too lazy to flower, which seems a bit of an obscure thing to say, but whether he's having a joke or not, I don't know, but I'm supposed to cut it back and not give it so much feed. Now, Lea Gardens itself, it's a lovely place. It's got a massive area of shrubs, mostly rhododendrons, and it's mainly popular in the spring, because by sort of June time they're starting to die off anyway, or the flowers are, so it's at its best early in the year. It's also got a nice cafe and a nice shop as well, so it is worth a visit. And I'm not being paid to advertise this, it's just a place I like to go. So apparently it was first started growing there, or building it, I don't know if you say building or not, when it's like a proper big feature, in about 1931 according to records, and it's been open to the public since about 1960, so it is well established. So I thought I'd go out on the Sunday, not on the bank holiday Monday, because I think it was about 25 degrees when I was out, and it was sweltering, and it's forecast to be about 5 degrees hotter on bank holiday Monday, so last thing I want to do is get stuck in traffic, because you can't put air conditioning on a motorbike, you just you're fine when you're moving, but as soon as you get into the traffic jams and you stood still, unless you got room to filter, you're gonna get the heat just stood there. So now on the lane that's approaching the back way round to get to this these gardens. Not say garden centre because it's mainly gardens and just a little shop selling a few things. And it's certainly quite a scenic route and nice little lanes all around. So I'll put a bit of music on while I'm continuing the ride. So we're just turning off the main road now. The main road carries on to the village of Lea. This is the one that goes round the back, and as you probably noticed on the sign it says no coaches, which is not surprising because I think there'll be quite a few coaches trying to get to the gardens and also to Lea Green Activity Centre, which is popular for school visits and that sort of thing, and you really wouldn't want a coach or even a minibus going down this way because there's a lot of single file where you've got to pull in even on a motorbike to let cars past. As I was saying earlier, my garden is very tiny. I'll put a little picture on, and so there's one of the garden and one with my little riding companion in a tub. It's awkward. It's awkward for parking the motorbike, to be honest. It's the position where I need to park it. It involves either a 15 or sometimes 17 point turn to manoeuvre it in exactly the right space because it's a it's on like a concrete slab where the coal bunker used to be originally when we had solid fuel heating, and it's like the most solid part to put it on. It is a tight turn to get to it, but in case there's any bike thieves listening, it is behind a 6-foot fence and a very secure ground anchor that it's chained to, and even if you get out at garden it's awkward to manoeuvre out because there's a narrow path and then another property opposite. So I'm continuing around this route. There's quite a few nice views in the distance. As I was saying, there's a car there that I was just in the right position to pull in for. I suppose the people who live here might get a bit fed up of all the traffic coming around here if they did make this like the main route into the gardens, but I thought I'd come down this way as a change because it's just nice, and then I actually get to the gardens before the public car park, so it is useful to see if there's parking close by, because I don't really want to park the bike park too far out of sight. And just turn down here to the road where the gardens are. A beautiful blue cloudless sky once more, and hot temperatures. Drastic change from what it was about a week and a half ago. And I also had a couple of pictures taken from the cafe pointing towards the gardens, which they don't really show much of an extent of it, but there's just acres of massive rhododendron bushes and a few streams as well, and obviously a few other shrubs and bushes, but rhododendrons has always been the main one. It must be one of the prime spots in the country for that amount of rhododendrons. And I believe it's been in the same family for years, not the original family that created it, but it is a family-run business. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be cars coming up this way, so it's at least I've avoided those going down the narrow bit of the hill. Looks more like wildflowers at this side, but you do see some of the rhododendrons just before you get to the main entrance to it. Yeah, there's some just over the wall from the gardens themselves. I did pull in with the bike just before I switched the camera off, but I didn't leave it there. I thought it was getting in the way of too many people there if I parked it in the push bike area, so I only pulled in far enough to switch the camera and the other devices off, and then once I checked out that there was somewhere flat enough to park the bike, which only has a side stand, those cones on the right are flat enough, so once I'd decluttered, I did move it over there and park there, so before anybody says I just park anywhere in anybody's way. I'd say it was a very, very short stop there. So then a couple of pictures that I took in the cafe, and then there's my map, and then at the end there's a little picture of the rhododendron I bought, which won't be in flower till next year. So until the next one, it's goodbye.